Have you noticed that you talk to yourself all day long, even when you're not trying to? That quiet voice in your head is always making comments, judging things, predicting what will happen, replaying old memories, or imagining new ones. Most people don't pay attention to it. But that inner dialogue is actually running your life more than you think. In this video, I want to break down the idea of a mental diet. A mental diet is just the quality of conversation you have with yourself in your head. Not affirmations you do once a day, not visualization, not journaling. I mean the automatic, constant voice that comments on your life when you're cooking, driving, scrolling, showering, or just laying in bed, that voice. Whether you know it or not, that inner talk is always shaping your identity. For example, if your inner voice keeps saying, people always misunderstand me, you will act defensive or distant, and people will end up misunderstanding you. If your inner voice keeps saying, something good always finds me, you will naturally act calmer, more open, more confident, and better opportunities show up. Not because of magic, but because your brain literally filters reality to match what it already believes. The mind does not want to prove you wrong, it wants to prove you right. So it finds and creates evidence of whatever you keep repeating inside. This is a mental diet. Think of the brain like this. Your thoughts create your emotional state. Your emotional state controls how you behave. Your behavior controls your results. Example, if your inner talk is, I always mess things up, you feel anxious, you avoid taking chances and end up messing things up or never trying. If your inner talk is, I figure things out over time, you feel safer, take action anyway, improve as you go, and eventually succeed. Same person, same environment. The only thing that changed was the baseline mental narration. This is why people who are great at manifesting or great at achieving goals look calm and unbothered. Their inner narration is stable. They don't get emotionally shaken when the reality looks temporary. They don't argue with the old story, they keep repeating the new one until the world catches up. Let me make this extremely real with simple examples. Negative inner talk examples would be people ignore me, things never work out for me, I always end up disappointed, I'm trying so hard but nothing changes. If this is the voice in your head all day, then even if you do affirmations 2 minutes, the remaining 23 hours of dialogue will cancel them out. The background voice is stronger than occasional effort. Now, what does elite mental diet example sound like? People respect me, my life keeps improving, everything works out for me, I always adapt and eventually win. That's my instance. See how calm and neutral the sentence set is? It's not dramatic, it's not desperate, it sounds like how someone would talk if they were already secure. This is the goal, not to repeat affirmations like a robot, but to shift the baseline tone of the inner voice. You don't do a mental diet until you get the thing. That's why most people fail. They treat it like a temporary trick. Think of it like brushing your teeth. You don't brush for 2 weeks and then say, okay, now I stop forever. You maintain it because you want to maintain your hygiene permanently. Same way with the mind. You don't change inner talk to get a result. You change inner talk because that is who you are now. And ironically, once it becomes your identity, the results follow by themselves. A great question to ask yourself is, if the best version of me was already living my ideal life, what would my inner talk sound like? You don't need anyone else to answer that for you. Your brain will give you the answer instantly if you let it. Now, to make this inner talk stick, we use the psychology framework from Atomic Habits, the 4 laws of habit formation. First one, make it obvious. Put reminders everywhere, lock screen, sticky notes, mirror, journal headers. The more visible the new voice is, the harder it is to step back. Second law is make it attractive. Pair the new habit with something that feels good. Example, do your mental diet while drinking coffee, while journaling in a pretty notebook, or while walking outside in the sunlight. Third law is make it easy. Do not start with 1 hour of affirming, start with something tiny. Change one sentence you repeat daily. For example, replace I'm struggling with I'm improving. One swap is enough to start. Fourth law is make it satisfying. Notice how you feel after the new inner talk. Your nervous system relaxes, your body feels lighter. That satisfaction makes you repeat it again. That's how a mental diet becomes a natural default and not a chore. You are a human, you will have negative thoughts, even advanced people do. The difference is not absence, it's response. Beginners panic, oh my god, a negative thoughts, I've ruined everything. Experts do this. A thought came, okay, not feeding it, back to my new baseline. They don't fight it, they don't spiral, they simply return to the chosen voice. You don't have to kill the old voice, you just stop feeding it attention. The new voice is like a muscle. Every time you switch back to it, it gets stronger. People who are good at manifesting or mindset are not positive all the time, they are simply emotionally stable while reality is still catching up. They do not get rattled by 3D circumstances, do not restart from zero every time something looks slow, do not obsessively check, is it here yet? They fall in love with the process, not just the result. They talk like people who already have it, and then life just adjusts to match that identity. There is no single correct mental diet sentence. Some people need calm thoughts, some people need confident ones, some need self forgiveness, some need power. To build the right one for you, ask yourself what sentence would the future me who already succeeded secretly say to themselves every day? Example, if your future self is financially stable, their mental diet might sound like money always finds its way to me. If your future self is fit and healthy, I take care of my body naturally, it's just who I am. Notice how those sound like identity statements, not effort. The mental diet is not about forcing a thought, it is about rehearsing the identity you're becoming. Like James Clear says, bad habits repeat not because you don't want to change, but because your system for change is wrong. Most people consume videos all day instead of applying one idea. They jump from technique to technique, waiting for motivation instead of building structure. And they treat this like a timeout phase, not a new identity. An elite mental diet is boring because it is stable. Professionals repeat what works, amateurs keep switching. The biggest threat to success is not failure, it is boredom. The mind keeps craving novelty, new video, new method, new hack, new affirmation. But the truth is, every teacher, Neville Goddard, James Clear, Napoleon Hill, is saying the same thing in different styles. What you repeatedly think, you eventually become. Once you accept that, you stop searching and you start practicing. You don't need 999 techniques, you just need one identity repeated until it becomes normal. People think mental diet means force myself to think positive. No, it means become aware when the old voice starts. Do not feed it, shift it back to the new identity. No shame, no panic, no drama. It's like learning a new language. At first, it feels unnatural, later, it becomes automatic. One day, you wake up and realize that old version of me doesn't even feel like me anymore. That is when identity has replaced effort. Time is going to pass anyway, your brain is going to think anyway, you're going to have inner conversations anyway. So the question is not, should I do a mental diet? The real question is, since I'm thinking anyway, why not think like the version of me I am becoming? There is no shortage of time, there is no shortage of opportunities. You are allowed to assume the best outcome and leave from that assumption today. That's it for today's video. See you in the next one. Ciao.